welcome to another Outlet Conversations. We're so excited. I'm so excited because I've got two of my really good girlfriends here on today, and we're just going to have like kind of an informal conversation with y'all on today. I had a thought, and the thought was, have y'all heard the saying that like children need a village? Like you've heard of like if you have a kid, then you need a village to help you raise that kid. Have y'all heard of that saying before?
Yes,
it takes a village. It takes a village, right? I've heard parents say that, but then I got to thinking, y'all, I feel like it takes a village for a woman to have support. Like I feel like that just doesn't go for your children. That goes for women too. Like we need a village. We need a safe space. We need people we can talk to, come to, feel good, feel honest, get it all out and not feel judged. You know what I'm saying? So today I want to talk about the importance of a sisterhood or having a circle of friends that you can go to and kind of be yourself with. And so I don't know, this word can be defined in many different ways. But before we get into this, I want to introduce my girlfriends. I didn't tell you who they were, so I've got with me here Marissa. You want to tell the people something about yourself, Marissa? I don't know. What's a fun fact about you people don't really know?
Fun fact. Kind of put me on the spot with that one. Can't give the obvious that I'm tall, but
and beautiful.
You're so sweet. Fun fact, I danced in middle and high school.
Nice.
And if I can choose a profession all over again and like really, give my dedication to, I would dance.
You would dance?
I love dance.
We're going to break out after this. Y'all ain't going to see it, but it's going to be like on and popping. So that's so much fun. Okay, so we have a dancer here, Marissa, and
not professional. I just said I like to dance, and I dance.
It's for the gram. That's it. We're just doing it for the gram, y'all. Okay, cool. Angela, what is one fun fact, Angela, people may not know about you?
Well, one fun fact about me is that I was a cheerleader. In middle and high school.
Dancer, cheerleader.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
captain
of the cheerleading team.
You were captain? So she had them in check.
Yes. So that's one fun fact about me.
Were you a mean captain or were you like a pretty nice captain?
I was just like a stickler for getting things done.
That means she was mean. When you say you
formation ladies.
Get it right. The 8 count was horrible. Oh no. I can see. Okay, so that just you were the girl in charge, the head leader in charge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I like it.
And what's the fun fact?
2 bosses. Fun fact for me. So I love to dance. I've never cheerleaded.
You dance really well.
The
challenges that y'all be putting up.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
I can dance the Superman real good. I do the old dances, right? So I realized I've crossed over where I'm old, and I realized this because the new dances, I have no idea.
But you have coordination.
Yeah.
And you have rhythm.
That's important.
So that means you can get it.
Yeah.
That means I can get it.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I can get it, but
I was gonna say, remember our Zumba days.
I love Zumba. Yeah. That's one thing I haven't been to the gym in a minute, but I miss going back. I miss going and dancing in Zumba. That was fun for me. But anyway, so that's a fun fact about me. I can do the old dances, not the new ones. So don't ask me, okay? All right. I'm gonna just put that out there. Put it on out there. Okay. So we're talking about sisterhood, and I have these ladies, and they have their own group, y'all. They have a group called Tea and Girl Talk that they created from scratch, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Y'all, it's huge now. This thing is huge. Their group is huge, and they get a bunch of ladies together, and it's so much fun. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think? Like, when you think of the word sisterhood or community of sisters, how do you define it? Like, when you think of that word, what do you think of?
I guess, you kind of gave away one of the words that I was thinking of, community. And I guess if you think of your siblings, like you may have your differences, you may have different personalities, you may have your moments of, where you're fighting, but that bond is still there for the most part. Most families, they may have their fights, but the bond and the sisterhood is there. So for me, when I think of sisterhood, I think of women who, regardless of your backgrounds or where you come from, you're able to join as a community and support one another, even if it's something that you may not understand. So
I like it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Angela, do you have a definition you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I would just add on the fact of kind of what Marissa was saying. Circle of influence is important. And I feel like with the sisterhood, having people that can pour into you and you can pour into them is so important, which does build into that community, because no matter what it is, you know that these people are going to be here for me and I'm going to be there for them. So it's like that circle of influence.
It's so true. I feel like we know it's important, and I think in our day, especially after the pandemic, y'all, I feel like everybody was so isolated. And it was kind of hard to get this community of people or the sisterhood together, right? But I felt like that's when people felt it the most. Do y'all agree? Like, I don't know if y'all had calls from girlfriends that's like, I need people. Like, you know, it was a real thing. Like, we realized, I don't think we realized until that moment how much we missed community.
Yes.
How much we missed being with each other. How much we missed, like, getting together and grouping up and talking and things like that. But I know in my life personally, having a sisterhood has been so important, because there are some things that, like, I struggled with that had I not told somebody I struggled with, I would have never known that I wasn't going through by myself. You know what I'm saying? So then it made me feel less lonely. Not that they even fixed my problem, but just that I was able to talk to somebody and they were able to empathize with me and not judge me and then be like, oh girl, I felt the same way. You know, that just felt good to hear. Like, oh, thank you. You know, I'm not an alien, or I don't feel, you know, as weird, but I just felt like a sisterhood was, I don't know, I think it's an important thing that we all need. But I think there are also ingredients to building that, because I don't think that comes overnight.
Absolutely. I think, like, what you just said is so key, of feeling that you're being understood or empathy is being displayed. And it just goes back to, you want someone that can relate to you.
Yes.
Like, you don't need, like you say, I don't need you to fix my problem, but I just want you to listen to me and to know, I just want to know that I have someone that may not be going through the exact same thing, but you can relate. You know, and Angela and I all the time, you know, we sharpen one another in this way of, whenever I'm dealing with something, like even before we started filming this, like we were just talking about just some life challenges, and just to have someone that has a different perspective that can kind of help you get through it is to me the essence of sisterhood.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And I would just say too, one of the key ingredients when you talked about key ingredients is that having the space to have someone come in and be there for you, because sometimes you know, we as women, we take on a lot of different responsibilities. We have a lot of different pressures. And sometimes we just forget to take care of ourselves in a way where a sisterhood can do that for you. Hey girl, you know, Marissa called, hey, just checking on you. Did you do something for yourself today? And I'm like, not really. They should say, friendly reminder.
At least she was honest about it.
I make sure I'm gentle.
Yeah, she's very gentle, and it's all with love. But just being in a space to be able to receive that, I think is so important, because a lot of times, you know, we just get wrapped into the day and we forget that, hey, it's somebody who really just thinking of me just because they want to be there. So just creating that space to allow people to come in, I think makes the bond, you know, even stronger.
Absolutely.
I love that. Receive it. Because sometimes it could, like, if someone is loving on you and you're dealing with your world, you can misinterpret that as, oh, they're judging me, or they, you know, coming down hard on me. But it's like, if your heart is not in a place to receive it, you would completely misunderstand, like, their role in the sisterhood. So I think that's why, even within the sisterhood, having that open line of communication, like Angela and I, we don't talk every day, but when we talk, we talk. And there's no like, I don't ever question her motives, or, you know, we have our moments when we don't respond to texts for like days, but there's no love lost, because we understand that we got life going on. Being in a place to receive. I love that, Angela. That's so key.
I so agree. And I think sometimes in building relationships and in building this, we've got we've got to not only be in a space to receive, but we've got to be open to sharing, right? I know for me, sometimes when I was going through things, y'all, I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but I would feel like nobody wants to hear what I'm going through. Or or this is a lot, this is too heavy, I don't want to put this burden on somebody else. So I would just kind of keep it to myself. But in keeping it to myself, I could have easily shared it. I don't know how they were going to take it, but at least I would have gave them the opportunity to respond to me and to be a friend to me. Yeah.
Have you? I'm like, you're in my head, and I see Marissa nodding. So I'm just like, that literally was our last conversation last week, right? So she was holding me accountable for that. That is one of my struggles, is that, and I said the same exact words, I don't want to feel like I'm a burden. And she was like, Angela, I just want to be there for you, you know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you know. But that is so key, I think, and Marissa has modeled that for me. Like, I truly want to say that I don't know what I would do without you, because
I'm about to cry now.
It's one of those things that has been a struggle, but seeing somebody model it and being patient with you, I just feel like it's just priceless, because having a moment to say I need help is really hard sometimes when you're juggling a lot of things. And she models that. And I'm not sure, you know, if it's, you know, heaven sent, God sent, but I just appreciate it. Thank you, God, for having a friend who truly is just here with me in the moment just because she wants to be there. And I think that definitely models the whole concept of sisterhood.
I just love y'all. I really do. Look, now we're all getting our tissues. I know we're getting our tissues out. Okay.
But I will say, I think for both of you, you guys are just naturally encouragers. You're always there for people. You're both married, babies, you know, you're a mom, so you wear so many hats, and you're so strong to where, like, you know, we always talk about, Angela, it feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreign to just be in a place to just allow somebody to love on you, you know? But there's so much love in the sisterhood. There's so much love that people want to give, you know, but just being in a place to, like you said, receive it, and also be in a space where you can share what you're going through. And I think for me, Angela teach me how to not overstep, because I used to be the person where, tell me what's wrong.
Oh, no.
Like, I am an empath. I'm an empath.
She was gonna say, I feel that something is going on. Are you okay? And I'm like, yes,
I feel people's emotions. Like, I'll text a friend and they're like, yeah, I am going through. I'm so glad you hit me up. Yeah. Like, I really feel stuff, but I also have learned to just take a step back and let that person, when they're ready. And I will say, I think with you and I, like, the transparency has gone to another level of just being open and just being free to share, you know, what's going on. So I think it takes both ends of the sisterhood. You know, like, you can have love to give, but you have to know the boundary of letting that person open up to you.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's two different dynamics, right? There's like committing. I'm committed to this person. I'm committed to supporting them, no matter what that looks like. But then there's that object of connecting. Yeah. Which is two different things. Like, I can be committed to a person, but that don't mean I'm necessarily connecting with you, right? But it takes a whole nother thing to connect with the person. That means you're sitting down, you're being active and present in the moment with them. You're letting them share what's going on with them, and then you're able to share. And it's not like a pity party share. It's just more like a, here's what's going on in my life. We're going to hold each other. We're going to hold each other and support each other through this. Right? And I just think that's so important. But I also think it takes a level of vulnerability. And I think that's something that we all struggle with, because we want to be in a safe space, right? Where if we share something, we don't want to ever think, what will that person think about me? What will they say? Because I'm going to be very honest, ladies. I think many women have trust issues, me being one of them. So I'm not just like out here talking about people. I was one of them. And I say that because in the past, I've shared something and I've been betrayed. You know, like you share something and you hear what you said with so-and-so, and you're like, I never...
Or the person use it against you.
You
know, like you had a very vulnerable moment with them.
Yeah.
And then when something happened where there's a disagreement, they use it against you. So it kind of causes you to have this defense mechanism where it's like, well, I'll let you in, but like
only a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing everything.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that's kind of how we evolved, because we didn't really set out to be like really close.
You got to tell the story how Angela side-eyed me the first time.
No, I did not side-eye you.
There's a story with the side-eye. Now you know.
Because Angela's a more guarded person.
Tell us, Angela.
I'll let you tell the story.
Tell us, Angela, about this story.
It wasn't a big story, but
it was just, we always laugh about it because it's really funny.
Yeah, it was just more so she invited me to lunch and I was just like, I'm busy, because I was just kind of.
She did the I'm busy.
No, hey, listen, I do not know these new people at this job.
She said no new friends, honey, no new friends. Oh no.
But it kind of is because of the experience of what you just shared.
Yeah.
I had started a new job and she was genuinely just trying to welcome me to the job, but I was coming with some baggage from previous experiences that I was bringing into a new experience. Yes. So after a few times, she was just like, well, it's a nice pizza spot that's not too far. You should check it out. So she didn't ask like the second time for us to go together. She just said, you can check it out.
Denied, y'all.
And then no. And then I was like, well, where is it? And then she was kind of like, well, I can show you. I mean, it was like so nice and sweet. Aww. And so when we got there and started talking, of course, we realized we had a lot of things in common. Wow. But I was going to say that sometimes with friendships, we kind of jump into like, this is my expectation, this is this person's expectation, instead of just letting things happen organically. Mm-hmm. Because we're like two different walks of life, but we realized we had so many things that we could build upon. Wow. And that's kind of how the friendship evolved. And then we would share, more about ourselves with each other over time, and it just evolved into what we have now.
I love that. So I would like to ask y'all, so for the woman who's hearing this or seeing this, and they're in that space, right, where they felt betrayed, they desire connections, but it's like this. It's a risk being vulnerable. It's a risk trusting again. What piece of advice, as we close out this podcast, would each of you give that woman hearing this message?
I'll let you go first. I'll think.
That's a loaded question, but it's a needed question. Yeah. I would just say the self-awareness, I think, is something that is oftentimes overlooked because we're thinking about just how we felt in the moment of something happening versus just being self-aware. This happened to me. I don't want to get stuck here, but I do want to move forward. Yeah. So having that awareness and then accountability for yourself to say, I want to be open to new experiences. That was so tough for me because, like she said, I am guarded just because it's my defense, mechanism, but I'm working on that. Yeah. So when I made the commitment to be open to a new experience, that allowed a sisterhood to develop. Nice. And so my advice would be just to have the self-awareness that, this has occurred, you've been betrayed, you've had some struggles, but don't get stuck there. Allow yourself the opportunity to have a new experience.
That's good.
I love that. And I'll build on that and say, with the self-awareness, to be gentle with yourself. Being betrayed is not a good feeling. It hurts, so feel that, but don't stay there, and understand that there are people out there that you can connect with who, have similar interests as you. But something I was thinking of is within a sisterhood, there has to be evolution because you're changing, you're growing. So understanding that there are going to be moments where you're going to disagree with that person, or you're not going to like something that they did, or it's like, I would do that a little different. But not allowing those type of things to take root. I think oftentimes we don't have that open line of communication of, hey, you said that, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, what was that about? Something I've been doing now with my friends is, if I'm feeling something or there's a disagreement or something, let's talk about this. Because what I found sometimes in the past with friendships is things were just building and building and building, and then we got to the point where it was just an explosion, where really the root cause was so minor. It was so minor, and if we dealt with that minor thing, like, who knows?
It wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
So I think, just understanding that there's no perfect relationship, regardless if it's a friendship, sibling, parent, significant other. There's no perfect relationship, but it takes work. And if you're committed to doing the work, you and that other person, it'll bloom.
Yeah. This was good. I'm glad y'all came on today.
Yes,
I think
this
is, the wonderful thing about these two, y'all, is they're not just talking it, they're living it. Like, they created this whole community of tea and girl talk that they've invested their all in, and these ladies come together. They're very vulnerable. They share moments, and I think it's a lot of it is attributed to you guys and the stage and the space that you set for them to be that way. And that's so important as women. I think we all need that. So thank y'all for joining us today. I had a wonderful time. Yeah.
This was fun.
I can't tell y'all how nervous they were before. But they just flowed through
It worked out.
It was amazing. No, but y'all, thank you all for tuning in for another Outlet Conversation. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.